Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants event. My name is Joe Grabowski, and I will be your host for today. Always love starting a Monday with an event live from the field. Always great to bring classrooms out of the classroom to start the week. I think that's always pretty cool. So we have something really special in store today. We are heading to the São Francisco River in Brazil, and we're going to hop aboard a fleet of river boats to meet an incredible group of scientists who are exploring this river ecosystem and community in a big way. So the São Francisco River Scientific Expedition is the biggest Brazilian scientific expedition of its kind, maybe even in all of South America. For 10 days, over 100 participants and a variety of different specialists will be exploring this environment, liaising with the local community, collecting all kinds of amazing data from river boats equipped with science labs. So we're going to head right now live to Yuri Sanada. He is standing by in front of some of the boats. So let's bring him in here with me. Good morning, Yuri. How you doing?
Hi, Joe. Good morning. Good morning, all. Doing great.
Good. It's great to have you with us. I know you had some rain this morning, but it looks like things are kind of clearing up a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, as you can see, it's very hot, very humid in Brazil, but it's great to be here. It's great to be here and welcome you. Welcome, everybody, to the São Francisco River Scientific Expedition. I'm Yuri Sanada. I'm a filmmaker, Brazilian filmmaker. I'm making a documentary about this amazing project. And I'm here just to introduce my friend, Professor Emerson Soares. He created this expedition along with his wife, Professor Temis, and Professor Vieira. So I like to just pass the word to Emerson Soares, and he can take from here. Emerson, please.
Hey, hi, my name is Emerson Soares. I'm professor at the Federal University of Alagoas. I'm going to show you a little about the scientific expedition. But first, let's get to know the São Francisco, okay? São Francisco River. And next, please. The São Francisco River is the 50th largest river in Brazil, okay? It is the 2,800 kilometers long, crosses one state in southeast of Brazil, and four more states of northeast of Brazil, okay? The states Alagoas, Pernambuco, Bahia, and Sergipe. And the São Francisco River is divided into four regions: Upper São Francisco, Middle São Francisco, Sub-Middle, and Lower São Francisco River. It has 90 hydroelectric plants, and we operate in Lower São Francisco. That represents 5% of the river basin, and cover 42,000 square kilometers, the equivalent of the states of Massachusetts and Connecticut combined. The region, there are 93 municipalities. The climate is tropical semi-arid and has little rain, okay? Where 2 million people live in. Next slide, please. The São Francisco River has multiple uses. For example, agriculture, tourism, energy generation, and fishing. But it presents many problems such as, for example, increasing in the erosion. Next slide, please. Increasing in the erosion process. Problems with water quality due to contaminants. Lower water flow due to drought, harm fish reproduction, and lack of basic sanitation. But in the scientific expedition São Francisco River brings together 18 researchers from 27 institutions working in 35 research areas for 10 days, and in 4 large boats, 5 support speedboats. We work to improve the quality of the environment, the river, and people. You can see some areas in the boat, in main boat, for example, is science and healthy, oral health, some environment education. Here we have the section. You have studies with the fish cell fishes and tissues here, and genotoxic, for example, water quality analysis, with studies contaminants. We have studies of microplastic, for example, and studies to the phytoplankton. Now, who will talk? Let's go, please. Who will talk a little now is Professor Fernando. Professor Fernando, please, be continuing.
Okay, good morning for every student in the United States, in Australia, in Canada. It's a pleasure to me. Thank you for this opportunity to speak about phytoplankton. Phytoplankton is a compound of microalgae in surface water in aquatic ecosystem and gives some importance when it emits oxygen to the atmosphere. 50% of oxygen in our planet is from phytoplankton. Phytoplankton is a primary producer in our planet, and he is so important too in a chain food in aquatic ecosystem. Without phytoplankton, you don't have crustaceans, you don't have fish, you don't have crabs and clams. Oh, this chain is so important in São Francisco River. And it's important to say we have some kinds of cyanobacteria in the water. They are in the phytoplankton and then can contaminate the water with toxins, a lot of toxins, hepatotoxins, neurotoxins. This when you have 10,000 units cells by 1 millimeter, you have this contamination. This contamination is dangerous if you eat a fish contaminated by cyanobacteria. And now, finally, I would like to speak about sequestration carbon in atmosphere by phytoplankton. Phytoplankton can reduce global warming and reduce the impacts of global warming. And now it's finished for me, but you can ask more. I'm ready for the questions, and thank you very much for your attention. Now, I will present to you our specialist and analyst of chemical pollutants in the water, Professor Sandra, please.
Hi, my name is Sandra Carvalho. I'm a professor in the Federal University of Alagoas, Brazil, and I'm chemical engineer research. In São Francisco River Scientific Expedition, our team study emission contaminants. Next. First of all, what is MS contaminant? They are from anthropogenic actions in the environment, substances from technological advance due to lifestyle and population growth. The problem is that they don't be removed by traditional water treatment. Some emerging contaminants are pharmaceutical products, antibiotics, inflammatories, analgesics, hormones, microplastics, pesticides smaller than 5 millimeters. They can produce it from plastic degradation products and from exfoliating packaging and soap. Caffeine is a chemical substance found in coffee, tea, and cocoa. It affects the brain and body and makes people more active. Beauty and personal care products, fragrance, sunscreen, repellent. Agricultural prestige, agricultural pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, fertilizers. Others as diet. Next, please. Compound studies and in this expedition. Methodology chromatography. We studied 38 compounds as substances present in pharmacies as paracetamol, caffeine, pesticides. They are chemical compounds used kill pests in plants, insects, rodents, fungi, and wanted plants. Hormone as estrogen, some components of beauty and personal care products, and using spectral photometry, we have identification and qualification of oil and grease content in water. Some characteristics of emission contaminants are present, low concentration in environment. However, they are not, they are accumulated and widely distributed in the environment, damage of the environment and human health, wide range of synthetic chemical compounds, and can be found in water supplies, groundwater, and drinkable water. Please, next. Some effects of emerging contaminants: hormonal bioaccumulation, estrogen. Estrogen excess can cause in humans risk of cancer, breast and prostate, reduction in male fertility, induction of cardio and vascular disease, and weight gain. In fish, affected reproduction, reduce the aquatic food chain, and in land animals as whole, alteration in the dead land. Please, next. Pesticide and herbicide effective on humans, infertility, impact on fetal development, cancer, and the other serious effects, health effects. Dyes, it impairs the passage of light, causing aquatic organism mortality, toxicological risk, skin and respiratory system, cancer, and mutation by oral ingestion. Therefore, it's very important for humanity identify, quantify, treat, and prevent the use of these contaminants. However, it's fundamental to invest in environment education. Now, Professor Paulo Baba will talk about the aquatic archaeology. Thank you very much.
I am Professor Paulo Bava de Camargo from the Federal University of Sergipe. Together with my colleagues, Luis Felipe Santos and Gilson Rambelli, we formed the underwater archaeology team of the expedition. We practice the wet version of archaeology. The most significant difference is that we must carry our air supply in scuba diving gear. Contrary to what many may think, we don't take the things we find in the water for personal use or sale. Everything discovered in submerged archaeological sites belongs to humanity and constitutes underwater cultural heritage. Slide one, please. On the São Francisco River, various types of archaeological sites can be found. Sunken vessels are the best known, and there are several in this river. They range from canoas de tolda, traditional wooden cargo sailboats with a kind of hut or cabin to shelter the crew or passengers, to sailing ships or iron-hulled steamboats. All these types mentioned are historical vessels that appeared from 1500 onward. Regarding canoes before the conquest colonization of Brazil, we haven't found any yet. However, this is a matter of more survey efforts because many indigenous groups lived and still live on the banks of the São Francisco River. They even named the river as O Pará before the arrival of Africans and Europeans, leaving many material remains in archaeological sites on land. Slide two, please. In some cases, we find a different kind of submerged archaeological site with a lot of pottery. On the island of São Pedro, there is a village still inhabited today by an indigenous ethnic group called Chocó. Near the harbor of the village, we found a sunken canoa de tolda and a lot of indigenous pottery underwater, which we found unlikely. Our doubts were resolved by the people of the village themselves, who said that in the past, the clay pots that the women of the village produced were loaded into sailboats by the thousands to be sold in nearby towns. However, with strong wind and waves, these overloaded boats could capsize, which happened a few times according to the memory of these older people. What we see today underwater is the result of that ancient accident, a CSI from the relatively distant past. Slide 3, please. Having said that, we came across an important point in the research. Our work is not only to find sunken things, but to understand the history of the people who inhabited and lived on the river, from the river, and to the river. So we always ask to the riverbank elders what their life was like using handwritten letters, candles, ceramic pots, or sailboats, things that nowadays we hardly use anymore. Often the answers to scientific questions lie in the memories of the people of the river, making them not just a source of information about old, broken, and sunken things, but protagonists of the research, having their life stories added to the history of the São Francisco River and the history of Brazil. And now you stay with my colleague, Dr. Nason, please.
Thank you, Professor. Hey, folks. I'm Dr. Nason Freire, an architect and a geography PhD. I work as a senior researcher at the Brazilian Institute of Geography and Statistics, or IBGE for short. We are using stats, maps, and satellite images to spread the word about the geography and of the lower São Francisco River region to students, teachers, researchers, and everyone else. Next slide, please. The São Francisco River stretches out for 2,800 kilometers, a bit longer than the Colorado River at 2,330 kilometers. Its basin covers 604,000 square kilometers, the same as the Colorado River basin. The San Francisco Basin is divided into 4 hydrographic regions: upper, middle, submiddle, and the lower. In this project, we are delving into the lower San Francisco region, the final stretch of this lengthy river that starts in the heart of Brazil and ends at the Atlantic Ocean, not far from where we are now. The area of the lower San Francisco region is 41,008 square kilometers. According to the 2022 IBGE demographic census, about 2.2 million people call the lower San Francisco home, engaged in various economic activities, especially in agriculture and livestock. The region has a semi-arid climate inland and a humid tropical climate near the sea, where we are now. While there are still areas with very poor populations, there are pockets of economic vitality with irrigated agriculture futures, exporting tropical fruits mainly to Europe, but also to the USA and Canada. Next slide, please. Human occupation in this vast region dates back about 9,000 years. Since then, especially with the arrival of Portuguese colonizers in 1500, the region has become a major producer of beef and leather to supply the major cities along the northeast coast of Brazil. In the 20th century, several hydroelectric plants were built on the river, generating power of the entire country. Next slide, please. Today, the lower San Francisco River region is characterized by its rich culture, history, and environmental heritage. as well by social-economic heterogeneity and the emergence of new agro-pastoral spaces connected to the globalization of markets. Want to know, next slide, please, sorry. Want to know more about the geography of Brazil and our region? Please check out the English version of our website at www.ibge.gov.br. So that's the lowdown on what IBGE is up to in the lower São Francisco River region during our scientific expedition in northeast of Brazil. So thank you very much for your attention, and feel free to hit me up with any questions or info you are after. Now I return to the Yuri.
Thank you. Hi, Joe. So that's the presentation for today. Now we're open for any questions.
All right, Yuri. Well, thank you so much to the whole team. It looks like you guys are busy. Everything from looking at biodiversity to health to river quality, archaeology, geography. Is there anything you're not doing on this expedition?
Yeah, we covered 35 areas. That's
Amazing.
a lot of things. Plus, I think it's like 5,000 treatments, except for local people health. So that's a great job socially, not only scientific.
All right. Well, before we get into the questions, I want to ask our cameraman if he doesn't mind maybe looking back over the river. We saw the boats, but it would be nice to see a view of the river if we can kind of turn around and look over the river quickly.
Let's go show the river.
There we go. Let me go full screen here.
It's raining today because we are in a humid area of the São Francisco River.
The climate is very climate.
And so
Sometimes very hot.
Here in Canada, we're getting a little bit of snow today. How hot is it for you there today?
Oh, it's hot. Extremely hot. How hot is this? Everybody's sweating here.
All right. Well, for the classrooms, if you are tuning in via YouTube, use the chat sidebar right now and say hi and send us in some questions. And then we're going to start going to some of our live classrooms and we'll get some of your questions. So if you have questions about the expedition and the river or any of the projects they talked about today, we can ask some of those questions. So let's bring our first group in. We have, let's see, let's start with Mr. White's class. Mr. White's class is joining us in Canada today, in Ontario. They're grade 6-7s. I'm going to bring them in. They're just in with audio today, but we'll say hi. Grade 6-7s, how are we doing today? Good. All right, excellent. Does anybody have a question for our team today?
I was wondering, like the first wonder is the impact that the 9 hydroelectric dams have on the indigenous communities along the river.
Okay. So Yuri, that first question, the hydroelectric dams, what impact do they have on the indigenous communities?
The impact on the water is the hydroelectric plants is the reproduction fishes, for example, the migration of fish, the reproduction, but we have problems with the sanitation in dilution of the compost, the substances of the water. Some problems with the water in the accumulation of the pesticides, for example, with the structure of the dams, the hydroelectric plants, the flow. We have the decrease of the water is the increase of the contamination in the water.
Okay, so it prevents the fish from moving. It increases the contamination because it builds up around the dams. What about sediment? Does it trap sediment behind the dams as well?
We have a lot of sediments in the river because we have a process of erosion in the margins. No, we don't have in any parts of the river the plants, natural plants in the margin, in the right margin, and the left margin. It's necessary to make a recomposition of these plants in the margin. But we have a lot of process of erosion. No? Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let's go to another classroom now. Let's see who we should visit next. Let's go to. All right. We have Mrs. Beaverson's crew hanging out with us in Minnesota, fifth graders in the US. Let me bring them into the call. Hey, fifth graders, how are we doing?
Good.
All right. Who's got a question for us?
We have some problems with the forestation through in the merge, okay?
No.
Okay. Do you guys have a question?
Yes, we've been studying ecosystems, and you talked about the phytoplankton ecosystem. What other ecosystems are along the river?
We have a lot of phytoplankton in 1 millimeter of water. And sometimes it's necessary to check the parameters of phytoplankton. I mean pH, turbidity, salinity, temperature, water. With this, we can check the incidence of 10,000 units per millimeter. That's the limit of danger. And that's all what I say. If you want to ask, I'm ready.
Okay. Can you tell us, Yuri, a little bit as well about some of the other
our-
ecosystems along the river?
Say again, please.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of the ecosystems around the river? Is there rainforest, savanna? What kind of ecosystems are around the river?
We have Caatinga. The climate is the semi-arid, and the climate is a little rain with the nomination the forest here in the margin is Caatinga, but Nason bioma Caatinga, yes. But Nason talk about a little about if the forest, okay? Ecosystem.
Thank you very much, Professor Emerson. In fact, we have two biomes in the lower San Francisco region. The biome semi-arid, we call Caatinga, and it's a savanna with 300, 500 millimeters of rain for an year. But now, where we are now, it's a tropical humidity biome we call Atlantic forest, and it's very, very humid situation. So the vegetation change completely between one biome and another, and the population will be adapted to this variation of precipitation of the rain. And the situation in the Caatinga, so the biome more arid, is very difficult for poor population. But it's region that is occupied for human in 9,000 years ago or more. It's we have expeditions in archaeology that discovers some artifacts in this region.
The great section of the river they studies is Caatinga, the great section, okay? But we have the name is Mata Atlântica too, the forest, humid forest too. And next the coast of the Atlantic in Alagoas is Sergipe, where the places we stay here this moment, okay?
And the temperature is more high than here.
The humidity is very, very high
here. But the temperature in the biome Caatinga is higher than now. And we have, for example, 4, 6 Celsius degree, but the sensation is about 60 degrees Celsius degree.
40. In this moment, we have more or less 40 degrees Celsius.
All right, that is
It's important
pretty
to
hot.
say the aquatic ecosystem with fish, crabs, crustaceans is so important for the fishermen, for the population river in San Francisco. And we give some help to this population with analysis of reproduction of the fishes.
All right.
So one image very interesting is now with the transportation of cars between one side and another of the river. We don't have a bridge here, this place. So it's a typical image of the Lower San Francisco River that connects one state of other. So at the right side, we have Alagoas state, and the left side, we have Sergipe station.
It's very common ferry boat here in transportation of the car in Alagoas in right side, in Sergipe left side. Okay, other side.
Okay. Let's grab another question here. I'm going to go now to okay, there they are. Mr. Roy's class is hanging out with us. 4th graders here in Canada. Let me bring them in front and center. Hey, 4th graders, how we doing? There they are. Give me a big wave. There they are.
Hello.
Morning, everyone.
Hello. Good morning. Okay, sorry.
Good morning. Good morning, Canada.
So the question was from Wesley, but he asked me to say it for him. Okay, it's how much, not how much, but how long does it take for the expedition to? How long has the expedition existed?
Okay.
6 years. We work in rivers in São Francisco rivers and 6 years. We starting to 18, and now we have 6 years of work in 35 areas, but they start with the 20 areas, research areas. Now 35 areas in 2023, but it's the 2023. 6 years.
So, Professor, it's six years of accumulation of knowledge and research, a big data of San Francisco River, that it is the first time we have this something like that in Brazil.
We have 35 areas, for example, limnology, water quality, and ecotoxicology, phytoplankton, microphytes, and
Socio-economic
activities, and healthy of public health, healthy of riverside population, and oral health. Okay, it's more areas.
All right. So if any of our camera classrooms have more questions, if you send me a message in the private chat, I'll know to come back and visit your classroom, or send somebody up at the camera to wave and I'll come back to your classroom. But I want to grab a couple questions from YouTube here as well. So the first question here is about the contamination in the river. What are you finding most when you check the water? What kind of contaminants do you see the most in the river?
Okay, we found in the Lower San Francisco pesticides, 14 pesticides, for example. We have contamination, emergent contamination, sewage, and cyanobacterium. Yeah, okay. This is very common in the Lower San Francisco. because the problems with the sewage, the sanitation, okay? And Fernando, any more things?
Cyanobacteria, we found when in a special phytoplankton, and we have some species of cyanobacteria. They give toxins to the water, and sometimes it's dangerous if you are in the river, and you can contaminate it by these bacteria. But we check the parameters of quality of water, and that's so important to maintain the balance in the river.
Professor Fernando, I think we have also contaminations about the mineration in the upper of São Francisco with gold, with iron. So this impact the rise of São Francisco along of all the São Francisco River.
You know, we have problems with the heavy metal, for example, iron and but phosphorus. Okay, just a moment. We have problems with phosphorus, nitrogen, and heavy metal, and iron, and selenium, and potassium. Yeah, potassium. Yes, perfect. And this problem is with relationship with the use of agrotoxic pesticides in the margin in the river. Okay, it's a great problem in the Lower São Francisco. Just no just in Lower São Francisco, but in every São Francisco, all São Francisco. Okay, it's a great problem. Também mineração, como é que chama
Mineration?
Mineration too is a great problem here in the Lower São Francisco, in all São Francisco.
Professor Emerson, I think we have also a great problem with the sewer of these municipalities. 505 municipalities, only one has treatment of the sewer. So it's one of the biggest problem at the environment in the São Francisco River.
In the sewage, great problem is the São Francisco.
In the development, the agrotoxic is very bad because the development of cyanobacteria, because the agrotoxic is very great development of the cyanobacteria development, because it's very good for that. And then in the agrotoxic is bad because it's very development of cyanobacteria with the agrotoxic, several types. Phosphorus, nitrogen, potassium, very bad for development for cyanobacteria. And then, do you understand that the cyanobacteria exist naturally in the river, but the agrotoxic is ferment development.
The problem there are with the fishing, because the fish is bioaccumulation in the organs, in tissues, okay, in cells, and the focus of our work, our research studies the fish too, okay.
The problem is eutrophication water. When you have nitrogen in the water, when you have potassium in the water, you multiply the nutrients in the water. That's a problem because you multiply the cyanobacteria.
Okay, I think I saw our fifth graders, Gatewood. Is there another question there? I thought I saw your teacher pop up to the camera.
Oh, come on up.
There we go. Come on up, bud.
What I gotta do?
Just say your question.
My question is,
Nice and loud.
what happens to the river when it snows? What happens to the river?
Okay.
I don't know if it snows there.
What happens to the river when
What's the coldest temperature you get?
Yeah, so they're wondering about the temperature of the river. What's the coldest it can get?
Stop.
But then what happens when there's lots of rain or precipitation to the river?
In maximum 20 degrees Celsius. In minimal, 20 degrees Celsius. In minimal. In maximum, we have 28. 28.
The minimum is the winter or rain station.
Just to compare, you don't have to wear a blanket anytime here. Maybe in a very cold night, maybe, but no. Most of the year round, yeah. There's no cold weather here.
It's very hot here. Okay.
Yeah. And
But
then
the fish is very common for fish here in the San Francisco.
are there
Of course,
any
it's always nice to have the river here. Just jump in and refresh. That's great.
yeah. Are there any
It's
issues
very
with
important to understand that River São Francisco is different from the Amazonas River. So the vegetation, the hydrographic map or characteristic is different. So it's not the same. So it's another basin completely different for people, for the environment.
But remember, Amazon River is biggest river of Brazil, okay? And San Francisco is 50 river more important in Brazil.
But it's our integration river, national integration river, because connects the ocean Atlantic to the heart of the Brazil in Minas Gerais state.
Yeah.
All right. And then a question here from YouTube for our archaeologist. Diving in the river, what is it challenging to dive in the river? What are some of the challenges?
The principal challenge.
It's for the
Oh, there's a lot of current, and the solar. It's a big challenge too, because many of the archaeological sites are in urban areas, and the solar is not treated, and frequently they goes into the archaeological sites. In this case here, we have a steamboat. A steamboat next to that, those canoes, and there is a sower up in the riverbank, and this is and we can dive in that important steamboat from the 1900s, and it's a pity because it's a beautiful archaeological site, and the current and the pollution are the biggest threats. Yes.
Okay, so Yuri, I think we have time for one more question, and it's about what's coming up next. Do you guys still have a few more days? Are you going to move to another location? What's next on the expedition?
Very exciting, yeah. We're going to the mouth of the river.
next.
Okay. In next days, we have the working the 35 areas in the next city. The name is Piaçabuçu. The name is strange, you know, but the name is indigenous. Okay. Here we are staying in the Penedo City. Is history city in the margin of the San Francisco River, and I believe it, 400 agents. Yeah, okay. And after we go to the estuary in the San Francisco River. After I come back, I return to Penedo City for the end, the finish of the scientific expedition in this year. Okay.
For me, Joe, most exciting thing is that we go to the mouth of the river, where the river meets the ocean. So that's also an amazing place to be, and it's really beautiful.
It's
true. It's very beautiful. The estuary of the San Francisco River is very, very beautiful.
Mangrove.
Yeah. Okay. Mangroves is very important for dunes too. It's very beautiful. The scenery is marvelous. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, absolutely amazing. It was so great to see so many people working so hard on the ship. I bet you when the expedition ends that the work starts even bigger because you have to look at all the data now and see what it means.
That's right. They collect all the information, and they have data to analyze the whole year to the next expedition next year.
All right. Well, I want to start off with a huge shout out to our classrooms. Thank you so much, classrooms in Canada and US who joined us in camera spots, who joined us live on YouTube, and then a shout out to all the classrooms who will watch this video later. It was such a great opportunity to get out into the field on a Monday morning and to see this incredible expedition and so many people working together on so many different aspects of the river. Yuri, your team, the whole team there is amazing. Thank you so much for being with us today and sharing part of the expedition with us.
One more question, okay?
Yeah.
After they finish the scientific expedition this year, when we return to our cities
Or home.
we have much work in lives. Every, I believe so, 6 months, and they working in labs, the process of the material biological too. Okay.
Research laboratory or to begin the work, the other work. Because in boat is a work, and in laboratory we're beginning the other work. Very, very large in about 6 months.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much to the whole team. It was so great to meet everybody. It's so exciting too that this is the 6th year of the expedition and you can collect all of this amazing data on the river. Thank you so much for being with us today. You guys are amazing and good luck with the rest of the expedition.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
This is the spirit in the team of the expedition scientific is here. Everybody together and happy, very happy. Okay.
Thank you for the questions. The questions very, very interesting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And please visit our website for more information. The expeditions of São Francisco website has many more informations. So thank you very much. We have activities for children like you, for children along the basin of the São Francisco with educational games. Very interesting. But it's in Portuguese, but we are now translating to English et peut-être français. Merci.
Spanish too. Okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Okay.
Okay. Thanks so much, everyone. Good luck with the rest of the expedition. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.